Hey everybody, this is Creed, and welcome to Creed Saturday Morning, lucky episode 13. Today what I'm working on is Professor Pericles from Scooby Doo Mystery Incorporated. Now, Scooby Doo Mystery Incorporated ran 2 seasons, 52 episodes, from 2010 to 2013. And I'm a giant Scooby Doo fan. I love every series of Scooby Doo right from the start. But I have to say, I really think Mystery Incorporated is my favorite one. I really do. The art does not stray far from the characters. They didn't try to take Freddy's ascot, even though he's the last person in the world that still wears one. He needs to. They need their outfits. They tried that with the new Scooby Doo, and it did not work, changing them up modern outfits. But Mystery Incorporated, it has this really classic look to it, but yet a little bit modern. And they didn't change things up too much. They got me in the first episode. They really got me in the first episode of this, where they acknowledge all the previous Scooby-Doo villains. They got the Space Kook, they got the Creeper, they got the Monitor 49er, and they're all in this like display. It was great. It was really great. And now they made a few changes, and some of these changes really rub people the wrong way. None of them bother me enough for me not to like the show. Instead of wandering the countryside like they usually do, they're actually tied to their hometown of Crystal Cove, which is, as far as I know, is totally new to the show. But it works. And this show is very different because it's not single standalone episodes. They're single standalone stories, but there's an arc over the 2 seasons. So it's 2 seasons of continuous Scooby-Doo stories. So there's an overreaching arc and mystery, but then there's individual mysteries for each show. It's really good. And what they have done with the monsters, because some Scooby-Doo there's never a real monster, and some Scooby-Doo actually have real monsters. This one kind of does the combo, because the monsters are super real and do things that cannot be explained. Like, you can't say, oh, the guy had a helium in his jacket, so he did this. No, whatever that creature did was supernatural. But then at the end, it turns out to be somebody in a suit, and they do not explain how that person in the suit did impossible things as the creature. They don't even explain that. They let that go. So they go way over the top with the creature, which is awesome to watch. And then at the end, they don't make that logic leap. Like, well, they couldn't have possibly did what they did. Oh, yeah, they just go, oh, we caught them. It's really cool. But let's see, what other changes did they make? Okay, Shaggy and Velma are dating, which I don't mind as much as I thought I would. It's alright. I don't really think they have to mix dating into Scooby-Doo, but whatever. Okay, it worked. It was alright. And what I actually like, and what a lot of people really hated, was they changed Freddy's personality. But if you think about it, Freddy never had a gimmick. His gimmick was, hey gang, that's it. He was just Freddy. But in this one, he's obsessed with traps, which makes perfect sense because he was always setting traps anyway. It's almost like he had this and just never talked about it in all the other shows. Just my opinion. I really love this show, and if you missed it, if you didn't hear about it, if you were like, oh, just some other, if you heard about it and went, oh, it's just some new Scooby-Doo, whatever, I'm not even worried about it, you have to see Mystery Incorporated. If you watch the first episode and don't want to see any more, I don't even know what to say about that, because it's such a great show. And you'll notice I talk way more about the show. I don't want to say too much about Professor Pericles, because it's related to the overall story arc of the show. He's played by Udo Kier, who's in Blade and End of Days. He's a bitter parrot with a grudge against Scooby-Doo and his pals, let's put it that way. But I don't want to give much else away. I just wanted to hype up the show. You need to, if you're a Scooby-Doo fan at all and haven't seen this version of Scooby-Doo, you have to see it. So that's why I had to add Professor Pericles to my villains gallery. So he's the latest addition. You may have noticed I have a new show. It's called Inspiration. It's different from my art shows. Any show I have featuring my art is just going to be regular, real world. Here's my art. I'm going to talk. I'll say what's going on. Inspiration has some surreal in there. It has some kind of a surreal storyline going on. and that's not going to bleed into all my other stuff and my regular Facebook and my. I'm not going to be on Facebook freaking out over something that's going on my inspiration show. So if you're interested in a pretty surreal experience, I recommend you check out that show. But like I said, it's not going to bleed into all my other stuff. This is my regular old Saturday morning. Actually, because of the break I took from posting videos on a regular basis, I'm actually pretty happy with the stock of art I have made. So I'm sort of ahead of the game. Actually, right now I believe 7 or 8 away from reaching 100 cartoon villains, but that's sort of on hold because right now I am super concentrating on. I got an artist alley table at CaperCon here in Cape Breton, Nova Scotia, Canada, Planet Earth, Milky Way, known space. Yeah, that should help you pinpoint where I'm at anyway. But yeah, so CaperCon. I was a little concerned. Their first year was last year, and I was a little concerned over everything I read and could find on it, that it was really heavy on anime, and I'm not an anime guy, but I've even decided to hedge my bets a little bit with that. I have a really cool piece in my archive that I found that I completely forgot that I did, which is Zoltar, the Phoenix, and the team from Battle of the Planets. So I want to do digital colors of that, and I'm gonna do a few prints of that. And I did an Astro Boy piece, just him flying. It's just, and I'm gonna look at possibly doing a Voltron piece if I can get one in time. But my other focus is trying to build up a stock of cool Halloween stuff for my big Halloween thing I'm gonna do. So I'm pretty busy right now because those two things are pretty big. I have some prints. I have about a third of the prints that I want to have for the show because I have an 8-foot table. And my awesome friend Jax has agreed to co-pilot with me, which is awesome. Because even if I sit there and don't sell any art, I'll have somebody cool to talk to. So I need something like that going on. So I was a little concerned about that it was a mostly anime show, and that wasn't. It doesn't seem like that was by design from the CaperCon people. It seems like that was what the fans were interested in, I guess, that were going to CaperCon last year. But I asked them about it, and they said no, they're not just an anime con, and they would like to. They think my stuff would help balance it out, so they're happy to have me. So that's cool. So yeah, I have a full table. I'm gonna have prints. I believe what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do 2 separate size of prints. The small 4x6 is going to be on my villains, and I'm not going to print out all 100, almost 100 that I have. And what I'm doing that for is not everybody's going to like everything, but you should be able to pick out a few that you're really going to love. So I need to make them collectible size. So those are all going to be small 4x6s. And then I have a few other pieces. I have a Cat Dog Masters of the Universe mashup that I'm working on. That's probably going to be one of my best prints. But I'm going to do a few other prints, probably bigger size, 8x10, something like that, maybe smaller. So 2 sizes of prints and some magnets. These magnets are really cool. I'm just going to do a select few. I'm not going to go super overboard. I just want to see how this goes. I've actually never been to a con, and they say go to one before you sell at one, but there's a year apart, so I could go to this one and sell at the next one, or in I go. So that's what I've been doing for like a year. That's why I've been trying to draw so many pieces, is so I have a stock to pick from. So yeah, I have CaperCon coming, and Halloween. You just wait. I got some really good Halloween stuff coming. And like I said, my new show, Inspiration. There may be 10 posts a week. There may be 1 post a month. There is no schedule for that show. It's gonna happen as it happens. But yeah, it doesn't have any of my art in it. But it has a lot of crazy, surreal stuff and a lot of me shooting my mouth off. So tune in. Why not? You always need new playback. You know you do. So that should cover it for this. Here's the finished Professor Pericles. He's a fantastic villain from a fantastic series. I can't recommend the show more. As always, I'm going to put a link to my Deviant Art account where you can check out all my art. And if you're interested in the stuff I make, I would recommend subscribing so you can keep up with everything I'm doing. So until my next video, have a good one.